What's up, everybody? Alex here. Welcome back to another video, and let's rip a contest entry for my boy Daryl up at Northern Vinyl Guy. And let me tell you, when he says Northern Vinyl Guy, he means it, because that dude is up there. So Daryl is celebrating his first year in the vinyl community here on YouTube, and we're gonna enter a contest and support him and do all the things. He's got 9 great questions that we're gonna dive into. Apologies up front. Got a little bit of a cold here, so I might cough or, die or something. But so it goes, man. We do it live. Bill O'Reilly. All right. Question number 1 from my boy Daryl. Share a song lyric that has a unique, unusual, or strange word in it. Well, my first thought was Steve Miller Band dropping Pompatus of Love, but I don't have the Joker album. But then this one came to mind too. And what is a song lyric? What is more strange than just making up a fucking word, right? And we're going to go to Phil Collins, No Jacket Required, 1985. And yes, the lead off track, Sussudio, right? So apparently, I don't know, somebody is going to know because everybody loves Phil, but apparently it was just like when they were rehearsing or practicing or going over the whole, melody lines or whatever, he didn't know what he was going to say. So he just used studio or Sussudio as just sort of a made up phrase about nothing. And it just stuck. So yeah, when you're Phil Collins, you can just make shit up and be a huge pop artist. But look, I can't lie. I hate that drum machine more than most things in this world. But the song fucking rips, man, I will say. So Sussudio, that is my word, my lyric, made up word, whatever you want to call it. All right, number 2, show a vinyl record pressing from your collection that is not from the country you live in. Well, of course, I live in the United States, so I have to show a pressing of a non-US pressing. And I'm going to go to Italy with the debut from PFM, or Premiata Forneria Marconi. PFM, Italian prog band, Pasta Prog as they are known. This is their debut, Storia di un minuto. Story in a minute. This is on the Numero Uno label. Also, I believe that is number 1. 1972 Italian first pressing. Very cool record. Yeah, it's all in Italian, but this is some awesome progressive rock music. I had somebody comment on my prog tag. They said it can't be a real prog tag unless you mention Italian prog. So formal apologies to that human, and here is your Italian prog here. All right, number 3 has a couple different answers due to just confusion. Anyway, basically it's like if you're from Canada, show an album from a province that borders the one that you live in, or a U.S. state that borders the one you live in. So if that means, or if you're an international, show a band or musician from your nation that has some sort of ties to Canada. So I've seen some people do this different ways where they'll say like, oh, I live in Ohio, so I'm going to show a band or an artist from a bordering state of Ohio, but also I'm international, so I want to show something with a Canadian relation. Whatever, dude. I don't, Daryl, this is for you, my brother. So the state I'm going to pick that borders is Michigan. And this record, which might be the most important record to come out of the state of Michigan, if not one of the most important records to come out of the States. Of course, MC5, Kick Out the Jams. This is my original censored version. Unfortunately, would love to have an original uncensored version, but that costs a little bit more. But I was able to get this one for fairly cheap. So yeah, I mean, proto punk, garage rock, hard rock, whatever you want to call it. What was this, 1968, 69? Loud in your face. I mean, who debuts with a live album? MC5 does. Great record. They are from Detroit, or just outside of Detroit in Lincoln Park. But then also, I wanted to show a U.S. band that's known as a U.S. band that has a Canadian connection. And because there's an album that comes out tomorrow, or I guess tonight at midnight, that I'm so excited for, and I couldn't be looking forward to more. And that is the new Dream Theater album, and their first with Mike Portnoy since this record in 2009. So that's why I'm showing this. I'm showing Dream Theater. They're an American band, but their singer, James Libri, is from Toronto. before joining Dream Theater in whatever it was, 1990 or 91. He was in some late 80s, mid to late 80s glam bands in Canada. I think Winter Rose was one of them, among some others. And so, yeah, I'll show Dream Theater. Shout out to Parasomnia coming out tonight/tomorrow, and it's going to be great. Hopefully. Show music, item, or paraphernalia from your collection. So not a record, but some kind of item or paraphernalia. Well, this is a prized possession for me. So I've shared some of these stories before, but back when I was in high school, I was in a band with my best friend, and we were in a music appreciation class. This is how we kind of met, got started our silly band, whatever it was. But I grew up around Cleveland, and so as part of the music appreciation class, we took a field trip to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. And as part of our final in high school, and again, we were probably 15, 16, 14, something like that, we had to compose a song. And so him and I, my buddy Sean and I, took the time on the bus ride home from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to compose this song and write lyrics for it. And this is the original sheet of notebook paper that we wrote on the bus in high school for the song Taxi Driver. As you can see here, chords are written, lyrics, the bridge section, all those different things. He was able to somehow find this, 15 years later or whatever, and send it to me. This is a prized possession and just the coolest and dumbest thing in the world. So there is my piece of music memorabilia, as it were. Show an 80s album. Well, this was just sitting here going back to 1985. I'm really digging this band, but specifically this era. And that is The Replacements with Tim. Yeah, they're definitely going more commercial here than their first couple of records, which were pretty aggressive punk. But man, I've heard people say like The Replacements sort of started this idea of alternative rock, whatever you want to call it. And this is awesome. Between Tim and Pleased to Meet Me, man, I'm loving these albums a lot. This just cool combination of obviously some punk influences into power pop, into alternative rock, all that good stuff. Just high energy in your face, but melodic. I'm digging it. This is from 1985. Tim from The Replacements. Okay, discuss a struggle challenge of collecting music. Two things: physical space and physical cash. Literally, I'm out of money, I'm out of space. I would have more space and more money if I didn't collect music. I'm out of both. Figure it out. Name a Grail sought-after album that you would like to get in 2025. Well, this is not a huge Grail in the sense of it's not a gazillion dollars, but it is pricey. It's probably up in the $100-ish range. And it has to be an import. But this is Zappa in New York, and this is the U.S. repress of it. For those who don't know, Zappa in New York, there are a handful of pressings from Europe, the first pressings that have the song Punky's Whips on there, which is a reference to Punky from the band Angel, and essentially Zappa making fun of Punky and Angel. And so that is what leads off the original pressings of Live in New York. But I don't think it ever made it to the U.S. And so a Grail of mine, my Zappa Grail, would be able to find an original that has Punky's Whips on it. And again, it was released in a couple countries in Europe, I believe. So yeah, that would be one of my Grails this year, is to find a version of that. Show an album that people would be surprised to know that you own. Well, I wanted to give a shout out because this person just died a couple weeks ago, and it's my favorite TV show of all time, but that is the Twin Peaks soundtrack. Of course, written, produced by David Lynch, who we just lost a couple of weeks ago. But the music is by Angelo Badalamenti. I love this show so much. I mean, this show is really one of those shows that changed my life, whatever. And so it was really sad to hear that David Lynch passed, but nothing like the soundtrack for me. So yeah, I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan. Have to have the soundtrack, and that would be a surprise for people. And then the last question is shout out a favorite non-VC related YouTube channel you like. Well, I don't watch a whole lot of YouTube outside of record stuff, but I will say it's certainly music related, and he's like one of the most popular people ever, so this is not a deep cut. But anytime I can watch a Rick Beato video, specifically his interviews are just so informative, so good. I've learned so much. The one I probably love more than all of them is the one he does with Stuart Copeland. Amazing, amazing interview, but just a fountain of knowledge and just incredible interviewing skills. And I just learned so much by watching his channel and his interviews. So yeah, there you go, Daryl. Hope you enjoyed. Congratulations on your first year, and here's to many more. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.